Asa Mitaka is a high school student with no friends. She is a very spiteful person and tends to keep to herself. One night, walking with her teacher and class president, Asa's life has been taken from her. As she lays on the ground with half her face gone, she thinks to herself that she wished she lived life more selfishly. An owl emerges from the shadows. The owl offers a deal. If Asa wants to live, she must give her body to the owl. If it wasn't obvious, this video will contain spoilers for Chainsaw Man Part 2. Go read Part 1 if you haven't already. To understand Asa as a character, we need to look at her past. What you need to know about Asa is that she trips in the most critical moments in her life, carrying a birthday cake and slipping, and tripping right before the finish line at a school race. Asa lives with her mother. One day, the typhoon devil comes crashing into their town, and her family tries to escape. Asa trips, trying to save a cat from the destruction the devil is causing. Luckily, her mother is able to pick her up and push her out of the way from a flying car. Unfortunately, Asa's mother does not survive. Asa is left alone to cry with the cat she just saved. With no other family to go, Asa is sent to an orphanage. Her time at the orphanage, she spends time alone and only has the cat she saved with her. Asa has picked out a name for the cat. His name is Crambon. One day, while Asa is reading, the caretaker of the orphanage convinces Asa to give up Crambon so that he can be with other cats. Asa is hesitant to give him up because she considers the cat as family, but knows that Crambon would be happier with other cats. Later that night, one of the orphans tells Asa that while playing by a river, they saw a cat that looked like Crambon at the bottom of the river. Greatly concerned, Asa asks the caretaker if Crambon is okay. The caretaker replies with a cold expression. Everyone here lost their family. You can't be the only one with a family member. We then jump to the present day. Asa lives by herself and attends 4th East High School. Not many of her classmates know she exists because she is so distant with everyone. She has grown to hate devils, even small ones like the chicken devil Bucky. While everyone is having fun playing soccer with Bucky, she is left on the sideline. Bucky jumps onto Asa and tells her to come play soccer with everyone. Asa realizes that she was just jealous of everyone. That's why she was so spiteful. Smiling and holding to Bucky, she runs to join the other. Bucky has been crushed and everyone is devastated. After Bucky's passing, everyone just stares at Asa, fueling her isolation. At home, while lying in bed thinking about her mistakes, she gets a knock at her door. It's the class president and teacher. It's revealed that the class president has made a deal with the Justice Devil to figure out how to have a happy ending with her teacher. The class president hates Asa because the teacher's always thinking about her, so the solution is to get rid of her. Asa is stunned, with her face being split in two. She feels relieved. While bleeding out, an owl comes to Asa, giving her a deal. Asa's body starts to rise from the ground. She places her hand onto the teacher's head and makes a spinal cord sword out of it. This is the War Devil. She's able to easily take care of the Justice Devil by cutting one of the Justice Devil's hand and turning into a hand grenade. Walking away, as the Justice Devil explodes, the War Devil notices a Chainsaw Man poster and declares that he'll vomit nuclear weapons. Asa wakes up and wonders if last night was a dream, but the War Devil assures her it was no dream. I love these two's relationship. Asa's trying to pinch herself twice to see if she's still dreaming. The War Devil commands Asa around, and if she disobeys, she'll die. Asa is not even able to touch the War Devil, she just phases through. Asa died yesterday, and is only living because the War Devil kept half her brain intact. The War Devil is unfamiliar with how humans work, and wants to use Asa so she doesn't stand out. The War Devil wants to track down Chainsaw Man, and has found a button that belongs to a school uniform, the same school Asa goes to. Asa is still shaken up from her classmates and doesn't want to go in, until one guy asks if she's okay. It's Yoshida from Part 1. The War Devil commands Asa to ask where Chainsaw Man is. While Asa refuses, the War Devil takes matter into her own hands by taking over Asa's body. After not getting any answers, the War Devil asks him if she wants to be her boyfriend, but Yoshida refuses. The reason for this is because the War Devil has the power to turn what's hers into weapons. She wants to turn many humans into weapons to go after Chainsaw Man. Asa thinks she's in serious trouble right now, and that maybe talking to a devil hunter can help her, but the War Devil is able to hear her thoughts, and warns Asa that if she spills the beans about her, she will die. If they can defeat Chainsaw Man, Asa can get her body back. Asa goes to the Devil Hunter Club and they're holding tryouts. People are being put into groups of 3. Asa gets paired with Yoshida and a new character. Her name is Yuko. Yuko is an important character because she's the first friend Asa makes. When a group of girls put raw meat in Asa's locker and ruin her shoes, Asa is forced to walk home barefoot, but Yuko offers her shoes and runs away, even giving Asa good life advice. Even if my actions turn out to be a mistake, if my heart was in the right place, that's all that matters to me. The War Devil, on the other hand, wants to kill Yuko. This is because the guiltier Asa feels about creating a weapon, the powerful it becomes. Asa distracts the War Devil by telling her to stop calling her girl. We finally get a name for the War Devil. From now on, she will be called Yoru. Eventually, Asa and Yuko run into a huge bat devil, chewing a man's arm off. They are both frozen in place. Yoru has some bad news for Asa. 1. They can't beat the bat devil in their current state. 2. Yoru can't take over Asa's body when she's stricken with fear. Yoru tells Asa to back away slowly, but Asa and Yuko make a run for it. While trying to escape, Yuko gets knocked out and has a pipe through her leg. Yoru tries again to convince Asa to kill Yuko, and it'll increase their chances of surviving. Asa carries Yuko, but remember, in the critical moments, lucky for them, a devil crashes into the Bat Devil. Turns out Chainsaw Man was fighting the other devil. At home, Yoru is beating a pillow out of frustration. Yoru explains that she fought Chainsaw Man before and lost. It's because of him that people don't fear war, and she grew weaker over time. Asa asks if she's afraid of being forgotten, but Yoru is fast asleep. The next day at school, Denji reveals to Asa that he is Chainsaw Man, only because Asa complained about Chainsaw Man. Asa calls him a loser and leaves. Yoru believes that Denji boy is Chainsaw Man, but Asa doesn't believe Chainsaw Man would out himself like that, back-talking to Yoru, even calling her stupid. We can see that Asa's finally able to talk back to Yoru, compared to earlier chapters. Asa visits Yuko after school, and they both sit down and have a nice chat, but the mood changes quickly when Yuko admits to killing someone, even offering to show the body. Yuko seems to know more than she's letting on, because she mentions the teacher and the class president. She knows all of this because she made a contract with the Justice Devil. She offers to take care of Asa's bullying problem. This panel is interesting. While walking home, Asa talks to herself, blaming herself for what Yuko has done. Yoru dismisses the situation and takes over Asa's body. Yoru plans on killing Yuko tomorrow. Yoru will stay in control until Yuko is dead. The next day at school, Yoru is waiting for Yuko. They fight, and we see another ability Yoru has, turning pencils into spears. But fighting Yuko is pointless. Yuko can read minds with the Justice Devil, revealing all the hidden weapons Yoru had hidden. But Yoru has one more plan, the leave it all to Asa plan. We learn that Asa is also able to create weapons herself, by ripping her uniform off. Nice Kill la Kill reference. Asa tries to attack with the uniform sword, but Yuko smacks it away. Doing so, Yuko explodes, and it turns out Asa's mother bought her that uniform before she died. Looking over Yuko's body, Asa is reminded of Bucky and tries to talk to Yuko. Suddenly a strange girl appears and asks if Asa wants to save her, calling Asa her little sister. Yuko grows, bursting out of the school. Chainsaw Man appears and fights Yuko. Yoru notices him and turns Yuko's leg into a sword. Before she is able to strike him, he vanishes. Later, Asa wakes up and hears a knock at her door. It's Yuko. She's turned into a devil. Yuko wanted to say goodbye before leaving to find a way to turn human again. Right before she leaves, Asa offers her shoes to Yuko, mirroring the earlier chapter. Asa's only friend has left. Now, she's back to being alone. This time, Asa and Yoru are focusing on making a powerful weapon. While looking, Asa spots Denji and decides he's the one to turn into a weapon, but Asa hesitates to go through with it. Yoru pushes Asa and tells her to think of it as a necessary evil to put an end to a nightmare. Asa asks Denji out on a date. They're planning to go to an aquarium. The interaction between Asa and Yoru is pretty funny. When Asa's fixing herself in front of the mirror, Yoru complains about Asa's outfit, that it's too plain and she should add some flavor, even doubting if Asa is capable of seducing Denji. Asa is confident in her outfit and that Denji will be head over heels for her. Unfortunately, Asa just info dumps on sea anemones and starfish. Denji gets fed up and just leaves her to go see the penguins. Asa has no idea what she did wrong, how her explanations were interesting if he could understand them. She even studied ocean facts for the date. Yoru just tells her she's a total bore. The strange woman from the school appears again. This is the Famine Devil. Fami for short, the War Devil's big sister. Fami snaps her finger and Asa is alone. Fami took Yoru outside and won't let Asa leave until Denji is turned into a weapon. Denji walks back and tells Asa they got a problem. No matter how far he walks, he couldn't get out. The Eternity Devil's back. Asa and Denji aren't the only ones here. The Devil Hunter group and Yoshida are here as well. They all try to find a way out, but with no luck. Later, the group gets hungry and they all decide to cook up some fish, but Asa can't eat it, since it looks too much like a dead animal and it grosses her out. Everyone just stares at her, and this probably reminds her of how people looked at her during Bucky's passing. She quickly leaves the room and notices Denji's doing something fishy. Denji just found 1,000 yen in a bag on the ground. Asa calls him a thief and they get into an argument. She wants to contribute to the group somehow and remembers she has a cell phone. Just as she's about to get a signal, she falls over. Disappointing the group, Asa sits outside alone. When Denji checks up on Asa, she reveals her intentions for Denji. Right now, Asa is struggling to understand what is right or wrong. Denji tries to cheer her up and cooks up some starfish for them to eat. It isn't enough for Asa, so she eats dry fish. Denji laughs and tells Asa that she is interesting. This gives her a confident boost. This attitude reminds Denji of an old friend. Asa comes up with a plan, and it involves collecting money. They collect him over 1,000,000 yen, and Asa wants it. Denji refuses, but she will grant any request of Denji's if he hands it over. The reason for the money is, she is going to buy the aquarium. She closes her eyes and summons an aquarium spear. Everyone is finally outside, and Yoru is able to take it from here. Yoru throws the spear and wipes out the devil immediately. After that, Denji walks Asa home. Denji wants to cash in his request already. He wants to go on another date. We learn that Asa is feeling love, and because they share the same brain, even Yoru is feeling affection for Denji. But this doesn't faze Yoru at all. She wants to proceed with the plan, taking over Asa's body and placing her hand on Denji's head. Denji's spinal cord sword. This doesn't affect Denji at all. This means Denji probably doesn't like Asa in that way. Asa lays in bed thinking about all the things Denji has said and is frustrated that he doesn't like her that way. The next day, Denji plans to go to the movies, but Asa suggests that they could rent movies and go to his place. He agrees, but there are rules she has to follow. Break one, and she could die. They arrive at his place and he explains the rules. 1. Don't open the door to any apartment other than his. 2. Don't open the fridge. And the most important rule, no matter what, don't make out with him in front of his roommate. Asa just yells at Denji, saying there's no way she likes him, and she even hates him. It'd be better off for Denji to stay away from her, or he'll wind up dead. They sit in silence watching the movie until Yoru takes over and kisses Denji. All of a sudden, someone is home. Denji's roommate, a little girl named Nayuta, has Yoru under control. Nayuta makes Yoru act like a dog. After some convincing, Nayuta agrees to turn Yoru back to normal, but on the condition that Denji stays away from her, and she'll alter Asa's and Yoru's memory, so she thinks Denji stood her up. Asa's waiting for Denji at school. Yoru thinks it's best if they target another boy, since it's clear that Denji isn't interested. Asa acts like she doesn't care, but goes on a rant. Yoru's barely listening. Yoshida appears and asks Asa if she would keep him company. In the Devil Hunter Club, they have a little chat. Yoshida asks what she was mumbling to herself. Asa responds that life is easier on your own. When Yoshida somewhat agrees with her, Asa gets excited and thinks he likes her. Yoshida wanted to tell Asa something for a while now, and that is to stay away from Denji. With that, he quickly leaves. Asa walks home alone with her thoughts. She is depressed how quick she is to convince herself someone likes her, and when she is wrong, gets her feelings hurt. A life of solitude would be better for her. We can see the concern in Yoru's eyes, even agreeing with Asa. Could Yoru actually be feeling sadness for Asa, or is it because she still needs her to reach her goals? Suddenly, a body falls in front of Asa. She looks up. A bunch of people are staring down at her. Even more people fall in front of her. Yoru turns a ruler into a sword, but her eyes widen and she runs away. She can't win this fight. We're introduced to the falling devil. This devil reveals your trauma memories and feeds on the negative feelings. The lower the heart sinks, the higher the body falls. Asa's memory from the orphanage start flooding in her mind. In order to save her, Yoru tells her to repeat and yells, "Nail knife." They stop falling. As long as Asa is focused on the pain, it will keep her fears at bay. Asa can't stop thinking of her cat, Crambon, and Yoru slices her hand, but that didn't help. They end up falling again. Asa drove out Yoru out of her body because she is afraid of Yoru. They argue. Asa brings up that she doesn't even know anything about Yoru, and that she's always saying scary things and taking over her body whenever she wants. She tells Yoru that she can see inside her mind what she is really afraid of. She is afraid of solitude and companionship. The falling devil finds Asa and tells her if she closes her eyes, she will have a peaceful fall. Yoru is horrified. Asa thinks about all the horrible events in her life and decides to close her eyes. Asa does feel at peace, not having to worry about causing trouble for anyone or getting her feelings hurt. But she does have one regret. She is cut off by Chainsaw Man catching her. He tells her that life can be super awesome, but crappy things can happen out of nowhere. She needs to have something to live for and eat that crap burger. They end up falling into the sky door and manage to get out quickly. Chainsaw Man is temporarily down. This is the perfect time to finish him off. Kill him and Asa will finally be rid of Yoru. But unexpectedly, Yoru admits that she screwed up. She was finally understanding Asa. Like always, Asa does the opposite of what Yoru says and stabs her hand, feeding her blood to Chainsaw Man. Asa believes that if a piece of trash like Chainsaw Man is allowed to keep living, then it's okay for her to live too. Chainsaw Man and Asa steal a man's motorcycle, and Asa is able to change the motorcycle into a super Chainsaw Man motorcycle. They are able to escape the devil, and Asa wakes up at a hospital. The manga is still ongoing, but this is all we have so far on Asa and Yoru. These two have a strange relationship. Is Yoru still using Asa for her goals, or is she starting to care about Asa? They seem to be more powerful working together than if one has more control than the other. To me, it's like a yin-yang. Asa is able to create powerful weapons with her connections to guilt, while Yoru has agility and more fighting experience. Could this be a mental struggle? Asa at the beginning wanted to live life more selfishly, and then Yoru came along. Could Yoru represent Asa's inner thoughts? I'm probably reading too much into it. So while researching this video, I came across something that's really interesting. I don't think most people know this, but the Japanese word for morning is Asa, and the Japanese word for night is Yoru. That is f***ing crazy. So what I think will happen going forward is that they'll learn to work together to stop Nostradamus' prophecy, an ultimate horror that will wipe out humans. I'm unsure if Yoru would still want to take out Chainsaw Man, but we'll have to see. Will the War Devil work with Femi and the Control Devil? There are so many unanswered questions at the moment, but we can see how powerful the War Devil could be. Imagine if war still causes fear into the public. What other abilities will this allow Yoru to have? This might be the case, since there's a public struggle at the moment, the Church of Chainsaw Man versus the public. If you read part 1 of Chainsaw Man, then I highly recommend that you keep up with the manga. When this video will come out, at the moment the manga is focusing on Denji. I couldn't really say much about him since this is a Asa Yoru video, but he has his own struggles with the fake Saw Man. I only mentioned him in certain chapters because he builds onto Asa's character. Hopefully my theory on Asa and Yoru is somewhat right. Unless this whole story is made up and Asa really did die at the beginning of the series. then she's been dreaming about this the whole time. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it. Please leave a comment on what you think about part 2 so far. And leave a like and subscribe. Please subscribe, or I'm gonna vomit nuclear weapons. Don't forget to hit the notification bell as well. Check out my social medias. The link will be in the description below. I'll see you guys in the next video.
Day and night. What? I toss and turn, I keep stressing my mind. What? I look for peace, but see I don't attain. What I need for keeps the silly game we play. Now look at this.